How would you describe the show then? What's the premise?
Rollicking comedy about... wait, no, that's something else.
It's a show about survival. It's a show about humanity and the traces of it when all humanity is lost and when the world as you know it disappears. I think it's about human relationships in a completely unhuman world.
In its essence, it's a show about what happens to culture in the absence of culture, what happens to society in the absence of society. You know, who are we when all of the things that intervene between us and the most fundamental realities, when those are all gone.
Ultimately, it's not only the zombies that they have to fear, but what strips away at human emotions so that they, it's the humans that are actually the most unpredictable.
So what can you tell me about your character in this?
His name's Rick Grimes. He's a sheriff's deputy, and he lives in a small town in Georgia. He's married to Lori, and he has a son called Carl. And you meet him at the beginning of the show, and he gets shot. And he wakes up to find himself in a zombie apocalypse.
Everyone's walking around half dead, and then he falls onto our little survivor camp out in the outskirts of Atlanta, and his family happens to be there. And then it becomes sort of the struggle of this group of survivors and where it leads them.
Talk to me a bit more then about your character, Laurie.
Laurie is Rick's wife. And I think in actually one of the significant departures from the comic, from the outset, it's a very complicated marriage. And these are people who are trying very hard to be good to one another. And maybe, in the way of many marriages, have different understandings of what that means. The world ends. And then you see some of the really beautiful, strong parts of somebody that maybe you'd forgotten about. And you also see some of the darker, more hidden things that maybe were there as kernels but had never manifested. So it makes things both better and worse.
Shane Walsh, he's Rick's best friend before the apocalypse. He takes care of Rick's family and saves Rick's family during the apocalypse and tries to keep them safe. When Rick returns, all sorts of complicated things ensue.
I was thinking about heroes because I never wanted him to be the archetypal hero. When I read the comic book, I said, he's an everyman. This is someone that I really relate to, and I think that's all the people I've spoken to who are ardent fans. They always said, no, he reacts in a way that you would want to react under these circumstances.
How faithful is this to the comics?
We have Robert Kirkman on board as an executive producer, and we talked about it early on, and while we follow the basic arc of the comic book, we don't want it to be so slavishly panel, by panel, that fans of the comic book can predict where it's going. It's important to take some detours along the way, and that's what the television medium allows us to do.
I said to Frank, and he was very keen to sort of pursue this as well, is that everything should be real, raw, as truthful as we could possibly make it, to lock down the world. And also everything costs. Every single kill, every single incident. Because that's what it felt like. There was an erosion of who he was. This very decent, honorable man starts getting eroded throughout the graphic novel, and this is what we wanted to do.
You had to kill any zombies? In a gruesome manner, or?
You'll see, man. Yeah, you'll see. I don't think you've never seen zombies get killed like this on TV before, I'll tell you that much.